Bonjour, Ginawa, Minawa. Welcome back to another edition of Ojibwe Language Table with Wes Jourdain. Ojibwe Mawin, Inway Adupawin. I think is how you would put that together. I'm not too sure, but I'm trying to throw words together. Ojibwe Mawin, Ojibwe. Inwaywen is the sound or the language. And Adupoin is a table, so I don't know, maybe that works. But welcome to this week's edition, lesson number 25 by request. We have viewers out there requesting this subject today, Gizisug. Gizisug, and Gizisug is our months. I had a few requests out there from viewers in Indian country asking if I could do a lesson on months of the year. So here we go. This is what came about of it today. So here we have our self-introduction as usual. Anin bonjour Kenawia, Wes Jourdain, Indigenous cause, Gidiga Benesi, Indigo, Magizin and Dude name, Esquagamiwi Zaga, Gunning and Dun Jabaka, Asaninsa Cogninda. So that's my self-intro, and I hope you guys have been practicing and working on your self-intro. And if you're new to this, please go back and watch lesson from the beginning, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Help you with our self-introduction. Also, the last lesson, number 24, was a review of all 5 of those lessons on self-introduction. So let's get started. Couple of resources that I wanted to just add into my PowerPoint presentation. These I found just by Googling on Google the moons or the months of the year and what they mean. And so some of these are different throughout different regions of Ojibwe country, and whatever yours may be. There's no right and there's no wrong way to describe your moons or your months of the year in whatever region or location you are at. The ones I'm going to describe today, I know I got help from an elder here in Red Lake, Minnesota, and those are specific to this area, as the elder told me a few years back on how to go about and telling about our months and our moons. So real basic, I'm just going to keep it basic. If you have this, the blue one on the right side, that's pretty much the same thing here that we use here in northern Minnesota. And so I'm just going to go through them. I'm going to break the words down for you guys, and we'll get started. So our first one, not usually doesn't start off as they say the new year on a calendar. You would start with January and go all the way through December. I think in our culture, in our Ojibwe beliefs, that somewhere right around April April, when the leaves start budding, that's the start of our new year. And so those are just beliefs and pertaining to here in northern Minnesota. So wherever you may be, maybe you start with get your money do Jesus. Maybe that's your new year. But some regions start right around April with the budding leaves moon. So we'll talk about these moons here. Let's get started. Get your money to Jesus. Get you something very quite big or great. Money dues of a spirit. Jesus, sun, moon, or month. You're going to see Jesus a lot in all of these. You're going to see him on every slide, so I don't know if I should mention him, but sun, moon, or month. Get your money to Jesus, the great spirit moon. Or January is when this moon falls into play. And if you've seen on the back of that one turtle's back, he had 28 spots. Usually each said moon here goes for 28 days, and then it switches over. And with that being said, there are 13 moons in some regions, some communities go by the 13 moons, and those can vary by region to region too. So we'll get through these 12 and then we'll talk about the 13th, I think, at the end. So next one we have is Name Benagizis. Name Benagizis. And in that picture there, as you can see, is a suckerfish. Namaben. Namaben. The I, the I, is our connector. Namabene. Connector to the word gizis. Namabene gizis. Also known as the sucker moon. Okay, sucker moon, which is February, and that's our word for February. Namabene gizis. Okay, moving along, we have Onabene gizis. Onaban gizis. Onaban. Onabanud. Crust on the snow. Again is our connector to the word gizis. Onaban gizis. Which translates roughly to snow crust moon. And you know, right around that time is when we you get that hard crust, that hard layer on top of the snow, and you can almost just walk right across it. And that's how I was told that, you know, that's how that's explained or translated to the snow crust moon. The crust on top of the snow, it just turns hard into the month of March. Okay, so Onabanigizis, March. Next we have Iskigamizige Gizis. Iskigamizige Gizis. Iskigamizige. Sheer he boils things down. Maple sap. Iskigamizige. Sheer he boils things down. Gizis. Sun, moon, or month. Roughly translates to maple sugaring moon. Okay. Maple sugaring moon. Iskigamizige Gizis. April. So we see a lot of our camps, our family camps getting together, getting things ready here pretty soon into March and getting all their stuff ready, marking their spots again for this year's maple sugar tap. And you know, family traditions do this. I know a lot of schools are participating in maple sugaring. A lot of programs wherever you may be in your reservation or your communities, your reserves up in Canada, you know, are preparing for this. You know, it's a you know, a very long-lived tradition of you know, Ojibwe people here in maple sugar is a delicacy in a lot of our meals and a lot of our foods that we cook. And you know, we use this with everything, with a lot. You can use it with anything: tea, coffee. You can put it on your oatmeal. You can put it in your pancakes or whatever. However you use maple sugar, maple syrup. That's the month of April coming up. Maple sugaring moon. Okay, Zagi Baga Gizis. Zagi Baga Gizis. And that will break that down. Zagi Baga. It buds or the leaves come out is the definition in the Ojibwe People's Dictionary. Zagi Baga. It buds or the leaves come out. And I took this a lot of these photos off of Google, but you know, they're referenced right there. They're made sure that they still have their stock number and stuff like that. So, you know, we don't get in trouble and stuff like that. But Zagi Baga Gizis. I'm probably gonna redo this presentation with my own pictures, so we don't have any of that you know, reduplication problems in the future. So I'm just gonna keep going with this. Zagi Baga Gizis. Zagi Baga, the leaves come out. Jesus is the moon, leaves budding moon, roughly translated. May, the month of May. Okay, next we have Odeimene Jesus. Odeimen Jesus. Odeimene Jesus. Odeimene Jesus. And that comes out to be Odeimen is our strawberry. Ode meaning the heart. Min is the berry, so it's the heart berry. In this case, a strawberry. Is our connector again to the word Jesus. Odeimene Jesus. Strawberry moon, which comes in June. Strawberry moon in June. Odeimene Jesus. Okay. All right, next one we have is Abita ni bino Jesus. Abita ni bino Jesus. And I forgot the word Abita on my presentation here. As you can see, it kind of loaded up different. Maybe it got caught in there somewhere. There it is right there. Abita equals at the half of a time period or halfway. You can say Abita for half of something. Nibin is our word for summer, one of our 4 seasons. Nibin. I is the connector. Actually, it's O. O is the connector here. Abita ni bino Jesus. O is the connector here in this case. And we have Jesus or sun. Moon or month. Halfway through the summer moon. Halfway through the summer moon. Okay, so that's what that comes out to be, and that is in our month of July. Okay, month of July. Abita ni bino Jesus. Next we have Monomin Jesus. Another long-standing family tradition. Families gather, get prepared for the harvesting of wild rice around this month into August into September is when this moon runs. Late into August, early September, maybe the last of the harvest. And so we say Monomin Jesus. Monomin, of course, is the wild rice. The good berry, I think, is another translation. Manu being good, or yep. And then min is the berry, so the good berry, which also comes out to be wild rice. And as we all know, wild rice is a nut of some sort. But it also can be the good berry too. Ike, sure, he makes or produces something. So we add monomin, Ike. We add Ike to it, which comes out to be harvesting. Okay, harvest the wild rice. Jesus is the moon, wild ricing moon. Monomin Ike Jesus or August. Okay, next one we have is Wate Baga Jesus. Wate Baga, there are bright leaves, as you can see in this photo here. Wate Baga, there are bright leaves. Jesus, sun, moon, or month. Leaves turning moon. Okay, the leaves start turning color and right around September into October. So that's how long this moon runs. And Wate Baga Jesus. Leaves turning moon or September. Next we have is Benakwe Jesus. Benakwe Jesus. Benakwe leaves falling moon. Benakwe Jesus. Leaves falling moon are also known as October. Okay, on October, Benakwe Jesus. Next we have Gashkadino Jesus. Gashkadino Jesus. Gashkadin, it freezes over, is frozen over. And O is our connector. And then we have Jesus. Gashkadino Jesus. Freezes over moon. And that happens right around November, late November. Could happen in October, depending on how the weather is for that year. We've had many variances of weather in October. Sometimes it's snowy, sometimes it's 60, 70 degrees. And so we're going to talk about our last moon. And we have Manidu Gizazunt. Manidu Gizazunt. So we have Manidu, which is our spirit. Gizis is our sun and moon and our month. Unts makes it diminutive, makes it small. We call it a diminutive. Anything that, is unts, ain'ts, eents, anything like that, makes things small. So in this case, Manidu Gizis Unts, we have it translated out as the little spirit moon. Okay, and that's in December. And those are our 12 months of the year, Gisisug. And as by per request of some of our viewers out there wanted to know what words we use for our months of the year. So real quick, we'll go through these. Get your money do Gizis, our great spirit moon in January. Namebene Gizis, our sucker moon. Onabene Gizis, crust on the snow moon. Iskigamizige Gizis. Maple sugar moon. Zagi Baga Gizis. Leaves coming out moon. Leaves are starting to bud moon into let's see, January, February, March, April, May. June Odemini Gizis, strawberry moon. Abita Nibino Gizis, halfway through the summer moon. That's halfway through the year, actually. I believe halfway through the summer. Yeah, it could be in July. Monomin Gizis is our wild rising moon. Wate Baka Gizis, bright leaves moon in September. Benakwe Gizis, leaves falling moon, October. Kashkidino Gizis, freezing over moon, November. And our last one, Manidu Gizis Unts, little spirit moon. And like I mentioned before, there's some stories or some legends that tell of a 13th moon, and those vary from region to region. Some say that a 13th moon can be found in between halfway through summer and before Monomin, and they call it the blueberry moon. Okay, blueberry moon. They say mini gizis. I believe was one of the translations I seen. That could be the 13th moon, perhaps. Ganabudge. The 13th moon could fit right in there, or right around February, right after get your money do Gizis. They say that one of the moons, I think the story here in northern Minnesota, Red Lake, Minnesota, is that right after get your money do Gizis is the Webinagay Gizis. Webinagay Gizis, the throwing away moon. And the way I heard that described was, that was the time of the year that we threw away we made our little bundles of sema and tobacco, and we wrapped them in a cloth, a certain color cloth. And I won't get into too much details, but what the whole main thing of that was to throw away our sicknesses, our bad thoughts, or all of the stuff that's in our bodies or in our minds, and to kind of pray and throw those things away during this month. Webinagay Gizis was to throwing away moon, and to get rid of those bad vibes and those feelings and stuff like that. So that's how I can kind of explain that without getting too far in depth in there's some things that we can talk about and some things that we don't, and how we do our ceremonies in our region. So I'll just leave it at that. That could be the 13th moon, but wherever you are, your 13th moon can be different. As we go back, and if you go back to the beginning of this, you'll see that turtle's back. And on the back of that turtle is that shell, and had 13 spots around back on his back, and that's how we kept track of our moons. And then the outer circle had our 28 notches, which represent how many days are in one moon cycle. So yeah, however it is in your region, you know, these you could say them like this. Again, this is Red Lake specific, northern Minnesota specific, and I approached an elder to get their input on this, and they said, yeah, you can use this, and so this is what I'm doing. Like again, I said again, it may be different in your area. So miigwech bizindawi eko manungum. Thank you guys for listening here today. Miigwech kikanawaban namik. Thank you guys for watching. Gigawaba mininim nagaj. I will see yous later. Nagaj meaning later. All right. You guys have a good day.